And now, a word from our sponsor.
But listen to your guts. Listen to your soul. Listen to your heart. Listen to your guts. And listen to your balls.
So, I've had the dubious honour over the last couple of months, weeks, I can't remember, I've lost all track of time. It's discombobulated me spatially. The dubious honour of reading, well, I'm not sure I would call it a book. I'm not sure what I would call it. The words haven't been invented yet. Which basically was reading it was the literary equivalent of having my fingernails pulled out with a fucking vice. Right, okay. Let me set the maison scène. Okay. I picked this thing up, I don't know when I got it, within the last month, 2 months, right? And this has happened to me several times over the years, right? Where I've encountered individuals who have written things and they've asked me to read them or made them available to read, okay? And invariably, and this is almost a dead cert, invariably the best thing about them is the front fucking cover, all right? The rest is dog shit. And it's not just like, oh, you know, here's a few pages for you to read, see what you think. They've written fucking War and Peace. But it's worse, you know. So they hand you this manuscript of doom, laden shit. You know, front covers are always really good, you know. They're always smashing. But you start reading it, and within a very short amount of time, you're thinking to yourself, this isn't writing. This is monkeys flinging shit at a wall in narrative form. What is it with these fucking people? What is it with these fucking people who think they can fucking write? And like I said, and they've always got a complete fucking book. It's not a few pages. That's what, you know, and it kind of pisses me off because I feel sorry for them because they've spent all this fucking time writing a manuscript which is complete and utter bollock sweat. It's rubbish. Okay, so I've written, so, you know, and invariably, so I've written the Gettysburg Address, right? You know, will you read it? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem, I'd love to read it. You know, I don't want to fucking read it. You know it's going to be bollocks. You know, yeah, I'll read it, and then you forget all about it, and 2 days later they turn up, oh, is that book I want you to read? Oh, shit, here we go. And you can guarantee the friendship is done. Because I'm honest. You've got to be honest, you know. So you get so you start reading, you get 5 pages in, and you just realise that this is dog shit in human form. Human form, book form. And yet they want feedback. Okay, so you put it off. Well, I'll talk to you. You know, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about the book, but hang up. And then you put it off, and, you know, it goes on for weeks and weeks. You start avoiding the fucker. And you can only do it for so long before they kind of track you down like a fucking bounty hunter. And then you've got to be honest and say, mate, yeah, I read your book. It was shite. What? Yeah, I'm sorry, mate, it was shite. Done. That's it, you never hear from them again. Well, if you're lucky. So, I got this thing the other day. I started perusing through it. And I got to be honest with you, you know, once again, it reads like fan fiction pish. All right, so you've got the author, a carbon-based bag of mostly water, an ambulant bag of H2O. We won't talk about the sex of this individual because it's difficult to pin down. But, yeah. Let's just say they're an ambulant nervous system and leave it at that, emphasis on nervous. So, so the author of this thing, and I use the term very loosely, obviously, wants to put himself in a heroic role, a role which in no fucking parallel universe is that ever gonna fucking happen. Alright? And that kind of annoys me because although you want to write from your own experience, I think it's a massive mistake putting yourself in any kind of heroic role, especially when you are a profoundly ugly bastard in corporeal form. Don't fucking kid yourself, because your mates are going to read this and they're going to go, "Oh, that's such and such, isn't it? According to this, he's this and he's that," and people are like, "Nah, they're not." It's a fucking. So don't do it. I mean, you could have yourself as a character, but don't big yourself up so much that it's like unrealistic. Because in real life, you're not cut out for that sort of thing. Okay, so that so the profoundly ill-suited. Okay, and it just ruins the whole fucking fantasy because it's just like this character with the six-pack and who's 6'4". In real life, is probably a fucking dwarf. Okay, with a beer belly. So that kind of that puts you off. And then the next big thing. They've obviously put a lot of effort into writing this fucking magnum opus. Not opus. Opus Magnuson. Why don't they just write a fucking chapter, put it out to people and say, "What do you think?" Because this is where, it's like, I think what I read was total bollocks. But a lot of effort has gone into this thing, which could have been devoted to, I don't know, more profitable enterprises, such as, I don't know, meeting a girl. What am I saying? Of course. No, they were right to write the book. But, it's just such a waste of fucking effort. It would have been better if they just had out a couple of chapters, people could tell them it's bullshit and save them the fucking hassle. The other big mistake is another fucking mistake. The overuse of big words. And when I say big words, what I mean is words that a lot of people are not going to understand, but words which are really not that vocabulistic, really. There's a lot of words in there that will stump a lot of people, to be sure, but it's not really clever use of language. It's still pretty limited. And the only reason it's in is basically, the author obviously has a very fragile ego that they kind of have to put these words in at the expense of, a non-existent story, but they feel that by doing that it somehow elevates themselves. It doesn't. Right at the level that you're at. In this case, Roger Red Hat and Billy Blue Hat. So it would have been a lot better. Don't use big words. All right. It's probably not a good idea. This really fucked me off. This really pissed me off. This pisses me off. Right, you're dealing with a fucking idiot when they fill out the fucking book with, details and exposition which it's too much. So I'll give you an example. Jesus Christ on a Harley Davidson Milwaukee 8 engine with chrome hubcaps. Now you can say that, but it's better if you just say Jesus Christ on a fucking bike or Christ on a bike. You don't need all of these embellishments, but this arsehole does because he's a prick. So this overuse of boring descriptions showing off that they've played far too much fucking Call of Duty. Rather than actually, again, attention to the non-existent narrative. Fucking cut it out. Nobody needs to know the fucking ins and outs of a duck's arse. Right, just tell the what am I saying? Tell the fucking story. I know it's beyond you, but, next time, maybe try writing, I don't know, Billy Blue Hat sucks off Roger Red Hat. Stick at your fucking level, will you? Christ. Right. Oh, this was a good one. With this bloody thing, you could literally pick any page at random and it makes no difference to the fucking story and read it. It's drivel. It's absolute fucking drivel. It's lots of fucking pop culture references mixed in with over descriptions, mixed in with sound effects. What the fuck is that? It's like reading a fucking Batman 1960s TV episode. You see fucking kapow and whack all the fucking time. Whack off, more like. Utter shite. And this is where I kind of get to the point of, trying to be helpful. Read some fucking real writers, will you? Try it, read Harlan Ellison or someone like that. Just read someone, for Christ's sake. You're still going to be a shitty writer, but at least you can say you fucking tried. This was fucking embarrassing. It really was. It was awful. Reading this was like reading the Bible, and this is not a fucking endorsement, all right? Reading this book was like reading the fucking Bible. It was boring. It was ponderous prose, and was about absolutely fucking nothing. I've learnt more and enjoyed more reading the fucking Yellow Pages than reading this dog shit. So in final, summation, I give this book three hot lip kisses. And that's only because I'm in a good mood and I haven't needed a cack yet today. But if otherwise, I wouldn't have even given it that. It's awful. It's bloody awful. These bloody people who think they can write. You can't. And this brings me on to my final point. Right, this really irritates the shit out of me, right? What kind of a special needs idiot has to go on to the fucking internet and ask what they should fucking buy? What the fuck is that about? What is the mentality there? Are they so fucking feeble-minded that they need people to metaphorically hold their hands while they buy things? We're talking about fucking adults here, supposedly. I don't go on the internet and say, "Oh, hello guys, I'm not sure whether to take a piss or have a shit, or both, and in what order." Jesus Christ Almighty, what is that all about? I don't know. Anyway, I've had enough now. Yeah. Chances are, if you think you're a writer, you aren't. All right? It's as simple as that. Don't fucking foist your book on people. They don't want to read it. They're not interested. They've got better things to do with their time than to humour you and pat you on the, "Oh, it's ever so good." It's not. It's bollocks. Okay? You're not the next Ursula Le Guin. You're not the next Harlan Ellison. Stick to writing Roger Red Hat, Buggers Billy Blue Hat. All right, that's the level that you're fucking writing at. Bollocks.